What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Kuker Supernatural Podcast. My name is Jacob Kuker, but my friends call me Cub, and you should too. Every day on the Kuker Supernatural Podcast, we discuss faith, spirituality, and the realms of paranormal. Today is no different. It is episode 570. You don't want to miss today's. We're talking about the secret of Sophia's black sun and how to escape the matrix. This is going to be an incredible episode today. Brand new things that I have not formerly taught before that I am very, very excited to get out there in the open and share with you guys, and hopefully enlighten some hearts and minds today. I know this information has really been enlightening mine, and I'm very, very excited to be able to share it with you guys. So as we get into it today, thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Secrets Behind TH, Reba Doxy, Mickey Walker, LGH 38G, Thomas Tomako, welcome. King J, what's going on? Bella Fidel, how are you? Invader, what's going on, my friends? I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a wild hair day today, which is cool. This is a pretty crazy, far out episode. So I think it's a good thing, to have some weird hair today. So we're going to be talking about this guy. We're going to be talking about the White Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland, Sophia from the Gnostic scriptures, or what is called wisdom in the Old Testament. We're going to be talking about that and really what that means today, and how we can integrate this into our understanding. And I don't know why I lost all of my images here. Can you guys even see me? There we go. Okay, I'm back. I lost my entire feed on the pro stream over here. So Truth Train for confirmation. You always got to start with a crap show here. So that means it's going to be a good episode. So Destiny, thanks for joining. Steber, what's going on? Kyle Andrews, how are you doing? Kyle, love the owl, man. Big owl fan. Aura, 2 edits, what's up? Marcus, what's up? Ethereal Fun, how are you? Sweet Pea, not Sweat Pea, Sweet Pea, how are you, my friend? Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for joining today. I'm going to get into this. This is hopefully, I don't know. I think this is probably some of the best data on how to escape the matrix that you've ever heard, honestly, because it's some of the best data I've ever heard. And again, I'm going to be talking about Sophia and her black hole sun. If you've never heard of that, what that actually is, we're going to talk about Saturn or Satan and 666 today. This is all really, really important. Don't be afraid of this stuff, guys. I know a lot of people are freaked out when it comes to this stuff. I don't want to talk about Satan. It's bad juju or whatever. No, guys. Okay, we got to understand what this is. All of this stuff is actually a part of you. And if we're afraid of it, the church wants you to be afraid of it. I want to educate you on it. Okay, there's a big difference. I want you to be totally open to this and understand what I'm talking about. Down the rabbit hole, Satan is Saturn. Exactly, Rosemary. And by the way, I'm going to share the secret of rabbit holes today and how that is the escape from the matrix, how that is the only way you escape the matrix, through this black hole sun, or the sun that is said to be in the center of the world. And that is something that is on an esoteric level, as I talk about here, the only device that will allow you to escape this matrix, if you will. As I've said earlier, and I'm going to get into reading from my new book today, where I show clearly how to escape the matrix, you have to go through this, which is the true womb of Sophia, or the matrix, and that the Saturn program is the satanic program that's running over her base protocol. Her base protocol is a beautiful material world running on natural laws, natural and supernatural laws. The Saturn program is what is running over that. That includes the man-made laws, the law of carbon, the law of flesh. And I'm going to show you what the difference is between all of these things. Rosemary says Hermetica. Absolutely. I'm pulling from Hermetica, from Gnosticism. I'm pulling from Egyptian. I'm pulling from quantum physics. So what I teach is basically a big old gumbo pot of all of this esoteric knowledge in one. Rather than you having to go dive into, one or two or three different esoteric traditions. I take it and push it all together into one philosophy. And that's what I teach. That's what I share. That's really what I believe and what I follow, because it's one truth, the only truth. Truth is one. It is one path. It is one understanding. It's written in 1,000 million bajillion different ways, but it's all there, right? If we know how to get there. So, let's see. Question, Red Dog says, absolutely. What is your question, my friend? Drop your question. I don't know what this Go Popular mission is, guys, but, if you guys want to drop some hearts, pump this stream up, share it. That would be awesome. Bhagavad Gita, Nag Hammadi, exactly. Love the Bhagavad Gita. Love the Nag Hammadi scriptures. Love the Hermetica. Love the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Love the Bible. The Bible's telling you the same information, by the way. You're just fed it in a certain way. If you go to church, you're getting the Bible in a certain way, in a certain form, rather than reading it as an esoterica compendium of a lot of different spiritual knowledge. You've got all kinds of different, you have Arabic, Hebrew, Egyptian, even Vedic knowledge in the Bible. It's all there. So Gnostic, yes, Gnostic. Gnostic it's derived from the Greek word gnosis. Jesus actually used that word in the scriptures multiple times and talked about knowledge or gnosis. There's an entire scripture set dedicated to his Gnostic teachings. We have to remember we're the ones that assign blame essentially to these different sects or whatever. And that there's not really a big difference between all of them other than a few core philosophies. They're all taking the same universal concepts and adding their own language. And certain different traditions, like the Gnostic tradition, will revere things like wisdom, knowledge, understanding differently than, say, the Hebrew tradition or the Arabic traditions or anything like that. So, if that makes sense. So, I don't have a title. I'm just a content creator. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy. I write books. I create. I've created an online community around all of this stuff. I've created a ton of coursework, meditations, lectures, all of those different things. Over 10,000 hours of studying and self-initiation and counting. Been doing this ever since I was a kid. That 10,000 hours is like when I really started to focus on it. If you add up all of the time I've spent studying and learning this over the last 39 years, that is way more hours, hundreds of thousands of hours. And so that doesn't make me a guru or an expert. In fact, the more I know, the less I know. If you consider me an expert, that's fine. I am probably an expert in certain things, but I don't consider myself an expert, if that makes sense. Because there's always something else to know. I don't even like that term expert. I don't think there's any expert on the planet. I don't care how much time and effort they've put into a thing. There's still something they can learn. There's still an angle they haven't approached. There's still a problem that they haven't solved or even been presented. So I don't love the term expert. I love the term seeker. I love the term growing. I love the term walking with you. Those are the things that I like. So Christian, Catholic, I consider myself a Christian mystic because I study the Christian mysteries. I take all this stuff back to like its biblical form and look at Jesus, Mary, Joseph, Yahweh of the Old Testament, those things, Moses, Egypt, all of those. You know, Moses brought some of the best esoteric Egyptian knowledge into the Mosaic Law. We just don't see it because we look at it as like, oh, it's a boring book of the law and I don't want to look at it. Well, he put a ton of this Egyptian Book of the Dead even into the Ten Commandments. And if you understand who Yahweh is, it's the four elements: earth, water, wind, and fire. And those four elements make up the Spirit of God, essentially, represented by the pentagram, which has been turned into a satanic symbol. It's not a satanic symbol. It's satanic if you flip it upside down. But with the point up, the top point up, it actually represents spirit over matter. And it represents exactly what Jesus said. Father, Spirit, your will be done on earth in mother or mater, matter, as it is in heaven, or Oranios, which is the invisible Akashic field around us, basically. So, hope that helps, Red Dog. Yeah. So again, consider myself a Christian mystic. I bring everything back to Christ. I am a Christ follower, not a follower of the church teachings of Jesus, but the actual path that Christ himself, Jesus, the avatar of Christ, laid out. Because if you look at like Paulianity, Paul teachings, very, very different than what, Jesus himself. Paul says it's by faith that you're saved. Jesus says it's by doing the will of the Spirit that you're saved. Very, very interesting. So Rosemary said, did you go back to Krishna? Never left Krishna. Never left Krishna, never left Christ. Same thing, by the way, same entity. Trying to say the same thing. Krishna is, again, the incarnation of this Christ energy. Christ, Jesus, is the incarnation of this Christ energy. So, I never left it. The Bhagavad Gita is one of my favorite scriptures. I read it quite often. It's not very long, so, it's a great thing to go through as much as possible. And when you read that, you see the philosophy Jesus was teaching, almost exactly. So, it's certainly not a stretch to, again, the authentic seeker that says, hey, I really want to know what this means. So Bridget said, I stopped being a seeker when I found answers. There you go. There you go. I find answers all the time, but there's still things that I want to know the answer to. There's still things that I seek, and there ain't nobody. If you've figured out the secret to life, you ain't sitting on TikTok. I'll tell you that, my friends. If you've figured out the secret of life, you are not doing stuff in the comments, right? You're out living on a mountain, living your life, right? No offense at all, but I'm just saying we're all seekers in here. So let's not fool ourselves. We're trying to figure this out together and understand what these secret ancient mysteries are all saying, because the more you understand the universal picture, the more the truth actually sets you free. Yeah, exactly. That's just ego. So, Anthony, what's up? Anthony says, I'm still going to hang out here, just moving it to the TV. What's up, brother? Thanks, man. Hopefully I look good on the big screen. I appreciate it. Tried to do some cool artwork for today. So thanks for being here, Anthony. Appreciate it. Yes, the black hole sun. That's what we're getting into. So let me dive in. You guys drop your questions, comments, prayer concerns, whatever you got in the comments. Really, really appreciate you guys being here. Lock in, because I got about a pretty good hour here of teaching that I'm going to drop. This is stuff that I have figured out, if you will, and that's what I'm putting in my book. My book's going to be around probably between 100 and 200 pages of like just crammed in there esoteric data, stuff that I've figured out. And that's why it's volume 1. There's going to be a volume 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. Because as I learn more, I'm going to add to it, expound upon it, go deeper on it, etc. The book that I'm writing now may be over a lot of people's heads, and that's okay. But I'm writing it in a way that you can read it once, read it twice, read it 3 times, and then go, oh, okay. And start to see the patterns back and forth. Because pattern recognition is what will teach you to speak the language of God. The language of God is patterns. Okay, it's numbers, it's patterns, it's fractals, it's shapes, it's esoteric clues. Okay, God speaks through symbolism. That is the language of God. And the more you understand, Bryce, what's up, my friend? Bryce, you can find my website. Let me pop it up on the screen. The more you understand the esoteric language of God, the more you're going to understand what God is saying to you. Okay, you got millions of people right now and they say, oh, God spoke to me. There's my website on the screen for you, my friend. God spoke to me. And it's like, well, but how? In what language? And did you get the full message? Because God has a huge vocabulary, and it ain't just in English, my friends. It's hidden in all of these different symbols. And that's what I aim with this book to really uncover. Anyway, you can go check out my website, Bryce. There it is, cubkuker.com. You guys, if you want the offer that I have today and that I had yesterday, though, message me. And if you message me during this broadcast today while I'm live right now, then I'll give you an extra 20% off yearly or lifetime memberships. Okay, extra 20% off. That's like hundreds of dollars, especially if you get the lifetime. So hit me up if you do want that. Message me. You can message me on Facebook. Bryce here on Facebook. Message me on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, jump over to Facebook. You can hit me up on X. You can hit me up on TikTok, wherever. And I'll give you guys a code for that. Or if you're on YouTube, you guys just comment, and I'll comment back with a private link for you that you can go through. So anyway, hopefully you got the website. There it is. I'll pull that off the screen now so I can get back to teaching, but I'll talk more about that later. So in many esoteric traditions, the black hole sun represents the ultimate cosmic womb, the entrance into a transformative void, often seen as the gateway to the womb of Sophia, the divine feminine wisdom. Sophia in Gnostic tradition is the embodiment of divine wisdom and the cosmic mother who gives birth to creation, but also holds a key to re-entering the source beyond illusion. The black hole itself is a cosmic phenomenon where matter and light are swallowed into a singularity, a point of infinite density and mystery. We still don't even know what's on the other side of that, right, guys? Even scientifically. Spiritually, it symbolizes a point of death and rebirth, where the ego and the false self dissolve into the unknown, allowing a true rebirth into spiritual awakening. So exactly, emotions, energy, and motions. Society calls it demons. Yes, demons or daemons are emotions. Okay, they're electrostatic, or what we call magnetic frequencies. Angels are angelic frequencies, which are angles of light or light code frequencies. So you have this particle that is created, the light particle, which is created or manifest from observing the wave. You collapse that wave, and then you get a light particle. And then you can create things like magnetic fields. Those are those deep-seated emotional wavelengths that we're stuck with. Many of us from birth, many of us from our programming. Those are our demons, okay? And I just dropped a video earlier showing how Satan is a part of the Godhead. Satan, in this mythos that I'm talking about, is actually born from Sophia. Sophia, without knowledge, without the Father Spirit, the Spirit and truth. Sophia birthed Yaldabaoth, which is Satan, Saturn, Kronos, whatever you want to call him. And so he actually created or bound this material world through his ignorance. And that's what Saturn represents. And that's what a lot of these like elites, or as I call them, they don't want you to know, as they worship Satan and do open Satan worship through this Saturn cube, Saturnalia, or the Saturnic energy that is essentially runs through Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, by the way. And if you look at that, that's why a lot of people say, well, Christians are worshiping Satan or whatever, and I say that because I identify as a Christian. So I can say that about myself. I'm not here to dog on any other religions. What I'm trying to say is that, a lot of people say, well, Yahweh is Satan. Okay, Yahweh isn't Satan. Yahweh can become Satan, because that's the matter. Yahweh is earth, water, wind, and fire. It's the tetragrammaton. And that can become Satan through the carbon footprint, through a man like Moses using that energy field and creating with it. Same thing, that can become the light of Christ, and it can mean Yahweh saves, bearing the rabbit hole as he goes down the rabbit hole. Jesus Christ goes down the rabbit hole. He went into the underworld, into the underbelly of himself, to release the captives, to release the demons, to release the negative energies, to release the emotions that were holding him back from ascending. That's the esoteric story you're not going to hear in church. And by the way, that's the only thing that Jesus himself taught that will set you free. And unfortunately, it's not taught in church. You're taught to believe in the blood sacrifice rather than the ascension protocol that he actually taught us. And I think that's pretty cool. We are God and God is us. Amen, my friend. Absolutely. And that's not to say that the ego is saying that. Because once you realize that I am in the Father and the Father is in me, and if you are in Christ, which is this frequency, this consciousness, this light body, he even described himself as a body or a field of intelligence and said that if you're in him, you're in the Father. What is the Father? The Father is spirit and truth. What is the Mother? The Mother is wisdom and matter. Spirit and truth and wisdom and matter. Mind over matter. It's a family hierarchy. That's why when people say we live in a patriarchal society, yeah, we do, because we put the satanic footprint on it and made it literal. That's the difference. That's the inversion that I'm talking about. When you make things literal, you're actually performing satanic magic. Let me say that again. When you take and make things literal, you are performing satanic magic. When you understand with your mind over the matter and you follow, yes, it's a patriarchal path, but that's what Jesus taught, and it is the true path. Has nothing to do with physical men and women. Has everything to do with understanding the mind or the spirit and truth is over matter. And with your mind, you control matter. But you have Satan or Kronos to accuse you, and if you resist him, he will flee from you, and you will manifest the thing, the place, the people, the experiences that you want in this world and in the next. Somebody with no name other than 30 seconds says, I have a feeling that Jacob has lost his mind, and not just genius. He has gone crazy in thoughts, and you think he is absolutely genius. Hey, one man's crazy is another man's genius, right? How many of our greats in history were called insane, and now we have them in our history books, and now we study their mathematics, now we study their philosophies, now we study their writings, okay? You understand what I'm saying here? If I sound nuts to you, that's fine. You're not ready for this. That's totally cool. If you get what I'm saying, you're in the right place, because we got to keep doing this together, and we got to keep going down the rabbit hole together. Red Dog says, you really helped break this down for me. Thank you. You bet, my friend. I appreciate your knowledge, Jacob. My pleasure, my friend. More about the Black Sun and Sophia. Yes. Okay, so let me jump into what I've been writing about that. I'm going to jump around a little bit in the new book here, but I want to try to cover a lot of ground. So, the black hole sun as the cosmic womb or portal. In many esoteric teachings, the black hole sun represents the ultimate cosmic womb, as I shared. Sophia in Gnostic tradition is the embodiment of divine wisdom and the cosmic mother who gives birth to creation. Black hole itself is a cosmic phenomenon. We talked about that. Connection to Alice in Wonderland. Okay, if you've never read Alice in Wonderland, I highly recommend it. That's where the term, I've got a rabbit hole for you, comes from. The rabbit hole in Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland is a metaphor for entering the unknown realms of consciousness, a descent into the subconscious, that is the below the conscious, by the way, to the underworld or other dimensions of reality. This fall into the rabbit hole symbolizes leaving behind the physical illusory world and entering the mystery of the self and the cosmos. When combined with the black hole sun, the rabbit hole becomes the path through the illusion of space-time, a wormhole or a tunnel into the womb of Sophia, the timeless eternal source of life and wisdom. It invites the seeker to journey past the veil of matter, laws, and limitation toward true gnosis. Okay, the reason this is important, guys, is because if you're going to escape this matrix, we're essentially, I believe, in what's called a soul trap, and using different astral technologies, as we call them, the planets or the archons or the zodiac, we are bound into this eternal clock, and it's filled with aeons and filled with archons. And these bind us and bind our soul into matter where we reincarnate. And that can be considered hell. That can be considered a state of you don't even get to stop this rabbit hole that you get thrown into. And the only way is to go back the way you came. That's why people say when you die, don't go towards the light, because it's a trap. Because the light is actually what is being collapsed from the absolute reality. You want to go towards the wave. You want to go towards the black hole. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But that's what a lot of people say. I can't prove that, and I don't know what I'll do when I get there, but maybe intuitively I'll know. I think a lot of people probably don't head towards the darkness because, oh my God, I don't want to be thrown into the outer darkness like the Bible says, right? And maybe it has to do with getting out of matter and getting out of Satan, getting out of this beast system or this 666 system. So, if you want to escape the matrix, follow Jeshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Okay. Following him isn't going to do you any good because A, he's not here, and B, you have been taught an absolute hokum of what he taught. The way to know what he truly taught is to read everything around his philosophy. That includes the Vedas, that includes the Bhagavad Gita, that includes the Dhammapada, the Upanishads, that includes all the Eastern philosophy. Do you realize when he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? That was the most mystical, yogic terminology of him understanding that he is one with the true source of life of the universe. And that he is not the body. He is not this world. Okay, he said to be in the world and not of the world, right? So you can follow the man Jesus all you want, and you can follow what Paul said about him and have faith in him. But the man Jesus himself, incarnate of the Christ, in his infinite wisdom, said, not everyone who calls me Lord, Lord will be saved, but only those who do the will of my Father. And what is his Father? His Father is spirit and truth. And what is the will of that? To serve all within this material realm and help set them free, because it is a fallen state of matter here. You understand we're a fallen state of light. That's the esoteric understanding of the fallen angels, that they interbred into humanity, right? Okay, you can go to the ancient astronaut theory and all the alien stuff and understand that these beings came down, okay? And within the video game we live in, yes, they did. But understanding the truth and the esoteric meaning of that is the only thing that will set you free. Know the story, but understand the glory. That's the most important thing. When you get the base code of what it's talking about, that's when you can start setting yourself free. Greatest explanation ever, Susan says. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being here, Susan. So, mad respect and love for Jesus, by the way. But again, what church is teaching will not set you free. I know, I've been there back and forth. I still go to church on occasion as a means to learn, grow, challenge myself, look at different stories and philosophies from a different angle. Because when you go and sit and listen to a pastor, even if you agree with part of what they say, maybe you don't agree with everything, but you can challenge yourself intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, to go, well, what do I really think about this? What's the true meaning of this? I don't agree with this guy, but what's the true meaning? And that's really important. So what sets free? Knowledge, my friend. Knowledge, gnosis, understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, becoming a part of the divine family. The Father, which is spirit and truth. The Mother, which is wisdom and matter. And the child, which is understanding and light. Okay, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He said, I am the light of the world. When I'm in the world, there is light in the world. So when you understand that divine family, spirit and truth, wisdom and matter, and understanding, and the knowledge of those things, that's what sets us free. Somebody said, only Yahuwah. Again, you don't understand it if you're trying to call it by the name of Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yeshua, whatever. It's all just names. You need to know the identity. Jesus said, whatever you ask in my name. If you look at that, he did not mean phonetic name. He meant in my fame, in my honor, or in my reputation. That's what the Greek word actually means when he says that. So if you do not ask in the fame, reputation, or honor of him and understand the philosophy of him, then it ain't going to work. You can use the name Jesus or Yahuwah or Yeshua or whatever you want to all day long. That is taking something that is esoteric and spiritual and turning it into satanic magic by arguing about what the name is. People tell me all the time, Jesus is the inversion of the true name of Jesus. You don't get it, because it's not about the name Jesus. It's about the identity of him as the Christ. That's the thing. It's about his identity, not a phonetic name, okay? If you know me, and I have a club, and you want to get into the club, and you drop my name, you still have to prove that you know me. Do you get what I'm saying? You cannot just use my name to get into the club. You got to know me to get in, and that's the same thing. And when I say no, I don't mean this personal savior thing that you get in church. I mean, are you actually aligned with his glory? Are you actually aligned with his identity and consciousness? That's the truth of it. That's what sets us free. That's what saves. That's what the church won't tell you. We are the temple. Amen, brother. Absolutely. He literally said, call on his name in the Old Testament. Well, Jesus wasn't in the Old Testament, so let's be clear about that. The Old Testament is a lot of esoteric data. If you want to give me the actual verse, happy to look it up. I can tell you what it means. Yahweh or Jehovah. Again, call on his name. What is the name? Go look at that. The name is the identity. Call on the formula. Call on the understanding of Yod-Hed, Vaid-Hed, which what is that? That is earth, water, wind, fire. Okay? That is the fourfold Spirit of God right there. That is the tetragrammaton. The tetragrammaton is represented in the pentagram or the star, with spirit over matter. You have the Spirit of the Father, which is that El Elyon, God Most High, and then you have the lower representations of that in the material world. Okay, when a father impregnates a mother, you have a child that's born. That child might have some negative or lower tendencies of the father, but also might have the intellect or the charm of the father, some of the higher tendencies, right? That is essentially what's going on with... I've got a lot of comments, guys. Sorry, ADD. Thank you, guys. Awesome comments. I'll try to get to all of these here in a second. That is essentially what is happening with this tetragrammaton. It is a alchemical formula for understanding what you're dealing with and understanding the mysteries of God hidden in all things. And if you actually look at when he tells Moses, Moses says, what do I say is your name? I am. Okay, what is I am? I am. I am God. Okay, say that to yourself. I am God. What does that mean? Does that mean you're God or God is you? God is you. I am God. The I am within you. That's actually, when Jesus says it, when I am, he says ego exist. Ego exist. Okay, it's the infinite state of existence and the ego that binds you into this world. I am. And when you understand that I am, and that's Eya Esher Eya in the Hebrew. And so when God says, this is what you call me to the Hebrew people, Eya Esher Eya, I am that I am. I am. I will become that what I become is what that actually means. So does that make better sense with all of this? So call me 100. I think you're looking for Hebrew roots information. That's not what my channel is about. I could give two flips about Hebrew roots stuff, guys. It's not my vibe. I've studied it. I got really deep into it for a long time. It didn't work for me. I didn't vibe with it. That's not really what I teach here. I teach enough of that to understand the Gnostic gnosis side of it, okay? Because, again, I'm not Jewish. I'm not Hebrew. Mad respect, by the way, but it's not my vibe. So if you want like all the correct phonetic saying, I know you're dogging on me for not saying the YHWH or VH correctly. Again, that gets into an entire subsect of legalism that I have zero desire to be a part of. So again, if you're looking for that, find another channel. That's just not me. I'm just not going to give you that. But I can tell you that that is the Tetragrammaton. You can go look into Western esotericism and when that got decoded and understood, and it turned into an entire set of magic that is still used to this day. And it's used in Kabbalah and all kinds of different things. So really, really important to at least scratch the surface of that stuff, if you will. But again, I'm from West Texas, so I'm not going to say all your Hebrew words correctly. And if that offends you, I'm sorry. Probably not the channel for you. So, let's see other questions. The statement, I will become that what I become, seems like a distinct contradiction to the I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. Again, it is not necessarily a contradiction. It's an enigma. Something can be the same, yet can transform into anything. Because there is nothing we can create with the knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of God that has not already been. There's nothing new under the sun. It is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And you think you're creating something new. You're just creating a new version of a thing that already existed. Billy, what's up? Thank you, my friend. Why do you think everything has to have a title? It doesn't have to have a title, but titles describe things for us, and human beings need something to graft onto to understand a thing. That's the entire basis of writing, the entire basis of English, the entire basis of magic, understanding the titles and the names of things. Not necessarily, again, the phonetic name, but the base name of a thing, the representation of a thing. Does that make sense? Then I am what I am will become many have been this statement to himself. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, the I am what I am, I will become that what I become. God is everything. God is good and God is evil. He even says that in the Old Testament. People say, well, God can't be evil. Because he becomes everything. The most evil person in the world had the same access to God as the most saintly Mother Teresa, right? That is just a fact when it comes to the formula of God, the Godhead, quantum God theory, which I talk about a lot on this channel. Exactly. It depends on who possesses a choice. We all have a choice on how to use that energy, that frequency, and that mathematical formula that is God. And I don't like, boiling God down to, it's just a mathematical formula you use. But that's how we interact with God here. When you pray and you're like, God, please, 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 you're in a frequency of begging and hoping and wishing rather than praying in the name of Jesus, which is the way of Jesus, and he prayed with authority. He commanded the sea to stop. He commanded the storm to calm. He told Satan what was up. And we're not doing that, guys. Okay, we're begging, we're praying, we're hoping, we're thinking, well, maybe I can figure out a better way to manifest, rather than knowing I have all authority. Through what? Through Christ. What is Christ? The child of God. What is the child of God? The product of the Father and the Mother, which is the union of the divine feminine, the divine masculine, the I will become that what I become. So that ends up pretty cool when you think about that. So let's talk about the tomb of Jesus in regards to this rabbit hole. So the descent into the subconscious or the underworld is where the white rabbit takes you. Why white rabbit? Okay, the white rabbit representing, just like Jesus Christ rides a white horse in the book of Revelation, it is the 7 colors of the chakras added up to make the white rabbit. Why does the white rabbit run with the clock? Okay? He goes down the rabbit hole and he says, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. Okay? He is in this moment playing Kronos, playing a herald of Kronos, but saying, if you're going to follow me, I'm going to take you outside of time. Because what happens when Alice goes down the rabbit hole, she ends up outside of time and space. She ends up in this entire adventure that lasts but a nanosecond. And she wakes up as it were but a dream. And where is she? She's already in the kingdom. And what did Jesus tell you? The kingdom is within you. It's already here now. It is upon you. It does not come with visible signs. Do not listen to them if they tell you it is coming, because it is already here. He told you your leaders are lying to you if you believe them, because they say, look, he'll be coming in the air. Oh, it's going to be coming here. It's going to be coming there. It's coming soon because of all the signs. Guys, the signs are only a reflection of what's already happened within you. He's not coming because the signs are lining up. He's coming because you're lining up. Do you get that? You see the whole world shaking right now? It's because you are waking up. It's because we are co-creating this reality. And each one of us has our own quantum timeline, and we can interact with all the characters around us. And very rarely, until recently, were we on the same timeline. Now you're starting to bump into people that we're on the same timeline. We're both awake in the game together. Holy crap, I didn't realize that my significant other was awake too. Now we're co-creating. Now we're making things happen. Now that's what they don't want you to know, because they don't want you co-creating the kingdom, which is already within you and already here right now, because they know that through our minds, that's when the universe disappears. Excuse me. Facts. Exactly. Thank you. If you say God can be evil, then applying limited human knowledge and morals to God. God is everything. He says he's everything. He can't not be anything. You have to understand God is all, and you choose what to do with him. God is present even in your most evil moment. The only way that you're taking a breath during your most evil moment is because God is with you. That's why you grieve the Spirit of God when you do things that are sinful, which lower you in frequency or in sine wave and bring you further into the fallen matrix, into the fallen matter, into the Saturn or Satan cube that we live in. Does that make sense? I mean, these are some bangers today, guys. Brittany, what is up? Exactly. Romans 7:12. It was son producing death in me, though what is good, in order that sin might be shown to be sin, and though the commandment might become sinful beyond measure. To have anger is to have no knowledge. We're all thrown together to learn from each other. People have to want to seek and learn from us to truly ascend. Amen, my friend. Absolutely. Johnny Black, what's up, my friend? My radio man. How's it going? Romans 7:12, it was sin. Exactly. Gloria, how's it going? Alice represents the Omega Christ, the 144,000 Great Awakening journey. So the tomb of Jesus connected here. Biblically and mystically, Jesus, 3 days in the tomb, symbolize a journey through the underworld or spiritual abyss. Okay, that's also represented when the son dies on the cross, which is all astral theology. That happens in December every year, on December 25th, and then it raises to new life. You got the shortest day in December because the son is crucified, goes into the underworld, and stalls out, and then raises to new life. Okay, that's a huge part of this. Okay, can we watch this later? Susan says, absolutely, my friend. Everything's over on YouTube, as well as in the community. You can go to the archives. Those will be uploaded within like 24 hours over there, as well as on Apple, Spotify, everything. So absolutely, I'd love to have you back to watch it. So the underworld or spiritual abyss, a liminal space between death and rebirth. This underworld is often interpreted as the inner realm of transformation, where the soul confronts death, darkness, and false self. In esoteric Christian and Gnostic interpretations, Jesus' descent into the tomb parallels the knowledge and the journey through the black hole or the womb. So, how do you escape the matrix? You have to go through the womb. You have to go through the black hole. You have to go through the black sun. You have to go through the rabbit hole. Okay, where is the rabbit hole? The only path to that is the narrow path within you. Okay, Jesus taught you this as well. You must die to yourself or your ego, give that up as sacrifice to God, give mercy and love to others, and learn to forgive yourself and others by going down into your emotions, down into your subconscious, and releasing all of the negative demons that are holding you back. You have to absolutely command authority over all demons, just like Jesus did. Sometimes the only way to kick them out is with prayer and fasting, like he said. Today is outstanding. Keith says, thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Karen says, love you. Thank you, my friend. Garrett says, what's up? How are you doing? Appreciate you being here, my friend. So, this is a necessary passage through the dark night of the soul, where ego and illusion are stripped away. That's the black hole, guys. You realize there's no literal black sun, right? Like, all the people out there teaching that, they're absolutely full of it. There ain't no literal black sun. Okay, this is all esoteric about going within yourself. When you do that, you will see things out there, because you will begin to transcend time, and that's when you instant manifest into a brand new timeline, brand new reality. That's pretty mind-blowing, guys. Think about that. Instant manifestation. Who keeps you from instant manifestation? Satan. Saturn. Kronos. Yaldabaoth. The accuser. The demiurge. The blind god that believes he's creating everything when really he just put a viral program over the mother's base reality of natural law and added the law of man to her. Have you ever noticed that you can go outside and you hear birds chirping and it's beautiful, but you got a factory spewing poison into the sky? And if you try to go camp somewhere, you better have a permit, because Satan or Saturn has put rules and regulations in place everywhere to trick you into the illusion of obedience rather than ascension. That's where the law of Moses comes in. The law of man, what does that do? The 666, it accuses you and shows you your sin or your fall in the sine wave and keeps you bound in a soul trap. Love of the mother, law of love, absolutely. And that's why, guys, Satan is the god of this world, but not the true God. And by all intents and purposes, Satan is a part of the divine family, but he's kind of like the, that brother that lives in the basement, right? And to conquer him, you got to go into the basement. You got to go down to this base reality that's within you and conquer your own demons and overcome what you believe is real in this material world. The six-sided cube. Yes, to balance, exactly. Let's see. Thank you for the follow, Tams. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Thank you. Azrael, welcome, my friend. Some believe that we're being drawn towards the black hole sun. That's what's propelling us through space. Okay, again, why do we even think any of that's real? If it's a video game, it's a video game. Okay? And within that video game, there's all of this stuff made up in the video game. The only way to figure out what the base reality is to connect with nature, the nurturer, and the true mother, and go back through the womb, and that's going to get you out of this reality. Okay, how do you do that? Again, it's an esoteric process of self-initiation. Go down the rabbit hole. Go into the tomb with Jesus. Okay, this isn't a literal thing, because if you do this literally, you're going to get thrown right back here. Okay? You get right back into this matrix. You have to conquer this first. That's why the Egyptians had all of these rituals that they did so that they could flow down the river of the soul and successfully navigate the underworld into the afterlife. So they didn't have to come back here. Misinterpreted says, hi, are you saying this because of experience? I'm curious, or did you read books? Both. And you should do both. Because there's some things that you won't unlock until you see it. And you go, oh, dang, yeah, I get it. I have experienced that, but I didn't know how to explain it. There's some things you can read in a book 1,000 times, and until you experience it, you don't get what that book was saying. I've read Alice in Wonderland multiple times. I never understood it until I finally, on the 1,000th time watching the Matrix movie, went, wonder what that rabbit's about. Why the rabbit tattoo? Why the tie-in to Alice in Wonderland? I used to think, because I was a stoner back in high school, I was like, oh, it's cool because they like to get puffed up, right? Follow the rabbit hole, man. All the little toadstools, they'll open your mind. I used to think that. I don't do any of that stuff now, and I'm on a way deeper trip now than I was back then. So it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, do you get it or get it? Do you keep knocking and you say, God, open this door, I want to know? That's the true initiate. And I can't do that for anyone here. I can just sit here and talk every day and hopefully shake and awaken here and get a couple of you to go, oh, man, I'm going to focus on this. There's more out there. What? This guy's entertaining. I've watched him for 300 episodes now, and I'm starting to think maybe some of what he's saying might actually work for me. What a weird thing. Maybe I'll actually try it now. And that's the point of my channel, is to entertain you, to enlighten you, and to get you to initiate yourself into finding the things that I have found. Because it's not me, guys. This is God pouring his consciousness through me, because the closer I go and ask the Father, teach me, teach me, teach me, the more I see all of this is reflecting my consciousness. Truth train for confirmation. Salute, I believe. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Amen. The strings start to connect. Exactly, my friend. What's up, Papa J Bird? How are you doing? Thanks for being here, brother. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Angel Blanco, what's going on? Thank you, guys. Y'all drop some love. Get me up to 10,000 on the hearts up here. You guys can drop some tips, whatever you want. That really helps the channel. I'm going to get into Sophia as the divine feminine and the true womb and additional symbolic layers here in a minute. Before I do that, I want to tell you guys about my brand new academy. If you guys have not checked that out, right now is our pre-launch sale for the Cub Kuker Supernatural Mysteries Academy. Okay, this is a brand new bundle that I've put together with all of my best work that I've done over the past several years doing this, plus a brand new downloadable bundle that I've been working on and will be released on September 22nd, 2025. There's a countdown clock on the website right now. You've got just 60 days and 21 hours right now as of the recording of this. You can save up to 80% anytime right now by hitting the website at www.cubkuker.com. I want to tell you a few things you get with that, because that's how I'm able to do this podcast every day, guys. So thank you for allowing me to talk about this. And if you know this is for you, you know. Okay, I'm not here to convince anybody. I don't need your money. I get paid to be me every single day, like on autopilot, automatically. So I don't need your money, but I have created this offer as a way to help take you deeper. There is an exchange, okay? That's why I charge actual money for this, okay? If I give it away for free, people don't respect it. But when you pay a little something for something, you go, okay, I'm going to use this, okay? How many times you get something free and it just sits there? But if you pay something for something, you're like, I think I'm going to use that. It's very important. That's important for all of you guys that are doing spiritual teachings, anything like that. There's got to be an exchange, guys. Thank you for the heart hands. So I've got a brand new collection of downloadable content Comes in PDF form, course form, audio form, tons of stuff I'm about to share with you, plus all of my legacy on-demand programs. Okay, that's all included in the brand new bundle. If you're already in my on-demand programs, you still get access to those. If you want the extra bundle, message me and I can help you upgrade. This extra bundle is a ton of new content all around the philosophy I'm teaching today, and even some of what I've been talking about today is in the book that I'm releasing with this. The book will be in print and digital and course and audio form. Okay, it's the whole package. If you message me now, I'm going to give you an extra 20% off of this. In the new downloadable collection, you get the Mysteries Academy, which is my complete spiritual awakening framework, transformative philosophy, and downloadable manual. Okay, I'm going to teach you to think like me. Okay, I don't want you to be me, but I'm going to teach you how to question everything, think on your own, recognize patterns, and put the puzzle pieces together, whether you're watching a movie, reading a scripture, or reading a book, so you can see truth in plain sight everywhere. The Mysteries Gateway is the second product you're going to get in that. This is an activation experience designed to help you self-initiate into ancient wisdom, knowledge, and understanding beyond the illusion. Activation experiences are really important. This is essentially a meditative journey where I'm going to actually help take you down the rabbit hole to practice a lot of this stuff, like what Jesus was talking about. Stuff you ain't going to get in church, by the way. And that's what's really, really cool about this. This is the actual system I've been practicing for years now, and I finally decided it was time to bring this to the forefront, to my viewers and to the public in a way that can better serve humanity. Because if I didn't do that, I'm not actually honoring why I'm doing this. So I wanted to get this out there so that everybody had access to it. Then you're going to get access to my mysteries courses. These courses are all my new teachings derived from ancient symbolism and universal truth. These lessons are to awaken you and free you from the illusion. So if you like what I'm doing here, I give you bite-sized lessons. These are 10 to 20-minute lessons that go through all of this material and teach it from my experience, from my knowledge, and what I've alchemized about it. And I give you actual activations to do with it so that you can actually anchor this into your life and go, okay, here's this concept. How do I take it? How do I put it into my life and actually change my life? Because guys, if you want to actually learn these ancient mysteries and universal truths and actually free yourself from the illusion, you need a path to do it. It is laid out in so many ancient scriptures. And what I wanted to do is put it all in one package so that my leaders, okay, this isn't for everybody. Anybody can join it, but this is for people who are like, excuse me, who are like, I want to make some things happen in my life. I want to break free from all this BS, all these belief systems. And I want to formulate my own belief system that actually works. That's what this is for. Okay. Then you get access to the mysteries octaves. These are all natural frequencies designed to help you see sacred patterns of creation and unlock your inner flow. This is a sound library of meditation music that you can use with you on the go to stay hooked in to universal consciousness, Mother Earth, and the nature frequencies that are so important to freeing yourself from the day-to-day grind. Then my Mysteries Logion is my brand new book. This is a Logion. If you don't know what that is, that's a Greek word for a scripture or for a set of agreements of a thing. And so my Logion is basically a compendium or a full book of esoteric codes and hidden teachings, all from this program put into essentially a textbook style with photos, diagrams, deep esoteric knowledge. And I've gone through and highlighted all the important words for you too. So it's easier to read than a normal manual if you were to go through some sort of Logion or compendium. I've actually highlighted all the words in this so they'll pop out to you as you go through and read it. And I even teach you how to read that inside this community and these courses, which is just a really cool add-on to this. You will be able to purchase the book separately, but right now, if you want to get it first, you need to go and join. And you're also going to get access to the Legacy On Demand programs, which is our community, my mentor calls, all of the Legacy teachings, over 500 videos already preloaded in there. All of my Supernatural archives, which has all of the podcasts being uploaded in there right now. And then you also get DM priority to get supported on your journey by me every step of the way. So you can go check that out, cubkuker.com, cubkuker.com. But if you're on here right now and you want to join, you can join yearly or lifetime, and I will message you a 20% off link just for you so that you can get an extra 20% off. It's already up to 80% off, but I'll give you an extra 20% off. I don't know what that would come out to when you actually add them together, but it's a lot. So if you want that extra % off, private message me during this or within like the hour after this, and I will send you a private message with that code and with that direct link to go ahead and join. So you can go check it out and see everything in it that's included at cubkuker.com. And if you want in, message me and I'll give you that extra 20% off. Right now, like I said, up to 80% off. Regular on a lifetime membership is $4,999. That is a steal. I'm telling you guys, that's for lifetime access. You get to download everything and keep it for life. It is absolutely a crazy, crazy deal. And then you're going to get access for the life of the program to all of the on-demand programs. Like I said, launch date is September 22nd. If you join now, you get the biggest discount ever, and you're going to start seeing things drip into there as I get them done. The full launch and release will be on September 22nd, upon which all of the new material will be in there. The book will be released. And anyone that joins lifetime membership today will also get a free signed physical copy of the book. So, guys, I'm crushing it on value. There's no reason not to join. It supports the channel. And better yet, it allows me to support you beyond the face of this podcast in a way where you're hooked in. You get that lifetime. You don't have to pay me anymore. You're locked in. You just get to come back and enjoy the calls. We have calls most Saturdays. You get to enjoy all the downloadable content as it comes out, and you're going to get the physical copy of the book too, and make sure that you're hooked in and ready to rock and roll and go down these rabbit holes with me. The yearly membership, you're still saving a ton of money. You can cancel that anytime. And then monthly has the least discount, but it's the most flexible. You can just try it out. Go ahead and jump in. We have several people that have done that recently, so thank you guys. I know monthly's popular with your budgets, but I'm also financing the lifetime membership. I've got a great financing partner in here. You can finance through a couple of different partners. That is through Afterpay or Klarna, depending on which is the best deal for you guys. So I'm doing everything I can so that you guys that want to work closer with me, go down these rabbit holes and really get access to, this is honestly a system nobody else has ever created. I made it because it's something that I wanted and it's something I would pay for, and no one was offering it. I wanted something that actually helped me break free from this illusion, understand my finances, my job, my mission, my creativity, my family, my relationships, and actually take those into a place where I'm actually enjoying those things in my life for the first time, where I get paid to exist. I get paid to be every day, paid to be me, where I know that I'm contributing to a world that I want to live in. And most people, unfortunately, aren't doing that. And that's what this was designed to do, is to help set you guys free, help you go down the rabbit holes, and help you build a life that you want, that you deserve, and that you're ready for. And start understanding who and what God is in that, and actually follow the path of Christ to serve yourself, others, and serve the Spirit of God. That's what I'm all about, guys. And I thank you guys for allowing me to do this. Like I said, do not do this if you're not ready to go into some uncomfortable places with me, because this is going to be challenging on a lot of levels, but it's going to be rewarding on a lot of levels. So go check that out. cubkuker.com, cubkuker.com. You can also DM me and I will give you the coupon code. I'll leave that QR code right up there for you guys that are watching after the fact. You're still going to get a great deal, But if you join now while I'm live, I'll give you extra percentages off just because I'm a nice guy. So let's jump back into the teachings, guys. Thank you guys for letting me do this today. I've got a really good finale here for you because I want to bring this home and look at what it actually looks like with the Saturn Satan cube and the 666. This was very, very important to my understanding of this, and this is a big part of what I put in the book, so I want to share this. Additional symbolic layers is the sun traditionally represents the divine light, consciousness, and a life-giving force. A black hole sun is a paradox, a source of hidden light within darkness, pointing to a mystical truth, and the true illumination requires a passage through darkness and the unknown. Again, go within yourself. Literally, Jesus told you that. He said to go within, go into your inner closet, shut the door, and be with your Father in secret, and you'll be rewarded in secret. So the symbol also hints at the black sun motif found in alchemy, occult traditions, and other esotericism. This stands for a hidden shadow wisdom and an internal spiritual fire, the transformative power of death and rebirth. It can also be seen as the dark star or the hidden sun that illuminates the internal realms beyond ordinary perception. Now, I want to make it clear, this is not, thank you, Red Dog, appreciate it. I want to make it clear that this is not to worship this black sun, okay? There is satanic paths that worship the dark star or the dark Aster. If you look into Marvel lore and legend, you have the dark Aster, which is the dark star, and that's in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. So, and of course, you've got the bad guys coming on those. So that's not what I'm talking about here. Again, I look at everything esoterically, okay? Not in a literal worship sense, because I believe I'm already with God, so I don't need to worship God. I just need to honor his spirit in me and his creative force within me and do the will of God, which is to love others, heal others, cast out demons, and create a better world. That's what we're here to do. And why are we not doing that? That's a rhetorical question, right? So Saturn, Satan, 666. Satan is the god of the material world and has blinded the minds of those living in ignorance, preventing them from seeing the light of truth. That is a paraphrase from the Bible. Okay, I paraphrase a lot of stuff because in esotericism, paraphrases is where the beauty is, okay? Letter of the law is all about what was the original, what was the actual word used there and everything. Esotericism is all about what are the symbols, the allegories, and the overarching painting. What does that look like? What does it feel like? Versus what exact color was used on the hair of this individual. You know, that's where you're getting into legalism, and people argue and create different sects and religions and all of that stuff. So Saturn is the so-called sixth planet in our solar system. It is marked by a mysterious six-sided hexagon at its north pole. This is very important. This image is reflected by the black cube used in ancient and modern rituals. Saturn is the archetype of Kronos, the devourer of his own children, or the great accuser. Satan, binding us within the simulation of matter through law, time, limitation, and judgment. I'm going to jump around here, okay? Saturn governs our material world through six-sided principles symbolized by the cube. These principles form the structure of the fallen state of light. Let me say that again. These principles of this Saturn six-sided principle govern the structure of the fallen state of light as it becomes matter, imprisoning souls. Saturn binds us through the illusion of time. The only escape is to transcend time itself, as Jesus and other mystics taught, which we will discuss later. Now, I want to get into kind of the magical, alchemical side of this. This is where it gets really interesting. So, the hexagram, or seal of Solomon, also the Star of David, is a powerful magical symbol said to command spirits and bind energies, made from two interlocking triangles and reflecting the Hermetic principle of as above, so below. It represents the union of spirit and matter, again, spirit and truth, wisdom and matter, and reflects the number 6 in its points. This principle clearly rules all we see, whether spirit rules over matter or matter over spirit. The number 666 mirrors the carbon atom structure, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. And it is the number of man, or the number of flesh. Okay, remember in the Bible it tells you to overcome your flesh? This code underlies modern civilization, shaping governments, financial systems, laws, social structures, work cultures, education, and legal identities. It is the beast system of revelation, a synthetic program layered over natural creation, reshaping the world in man's image rather than God's. Like a virus infecting an operating system, it corrupts and manipulates. Guys, those are some of the most powerful words I've ever spoken on this podcast. And those are in the new book. Those are in the new courses. And I'm going to unpack all of that for you guys. When you understand that, there's no beast system coming. It's here. Okay? There's no kingdom coming. It's here. You have to step into it. One way or another, you're making a decision. And when you begin to realize that what you see out there reflects what is going on within you. Have you ever had a friend and you're like, oh, they just dropped off the face of the earth. I can't find them on Facebook anymore. I try to call them. I can't even get a hold of them. And then you talk to them years later and they're like, yeah, I never heard from you. I've been doing my own thing. I went on this journey and did that. It's because you literally are on a different timeline than them. You can't actually look them up or find them in the matrix. And if you do, you are normally finding not their avatar of consciousness, but their actual non-player character, just living within the simulation, just living within the game. So that's how this program can run simultaneously over the beauty of the natural mother. And we can live in this simulation that is created by this Saturn cube. Now, I'm going to take you even deeper into this and explain why this manifests and creates our reality here. So, can I break that down a bit more? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to get a little bit deeper into here. So, Gloria says, you guys are having some conversation. Did you just compare the Messiah to a cross-dresser? Wow, where do you think you got the idea from? But this is not a simulation. Jennifer says, this is actually an organic creation, not a simulation. Okay, that's what I just said, Jennifer. There's an organic creation that Sophia created, but in her ignorance, she created a simulation, or Saturn, the Saturn simulation. The Saturn simulation is what everyone's stuck in right now, okay? You go to work because you're stuck in the Saturn simulation. You pay bills because you're stuck in a Saturn simulation. You have the education system that you have. You have all of the laws that you have. All of that is the carbon man-made footprint of creating this simulation in our image. Okay, that's that Saturn time. Okay, time is not something natural to organic Mother Earth. Time is something that is a generated paradox that we live in, that you can't escape until you go within. When you go within, you connect to the true Mother Earth, and you can sit on a rock for hours and only a minute passes. Okay? Don't believe me? Try it. Okay? I've done it. It's weird. I've actually manipulated the wind, or received the manipulation of the wind, by meditating. I had a vortex pick up around me on a completely still day, an entire vortex, a dirt devil, pick up around me, from meditating and from my consciousness connecting with Mother Nature, and that vortex of that energy creating. Okay, you can think I'm nuts, that's fine. I was there, I witnessed it. Okay, and I've had too many experiences like that to call that a coincidence. Okay, Jennifer says BS. It's great, Jennifer. You probably think everything's BS. It is. It's a belief system. My belief system serves me and humanity. Yours is sitting here accusing me because you're mirroring Hasatan, Satan, Saturn, the accuser, to sit here and call BS 5 times when you can go and create your own belief system and create your reality. Okay, I see you. You don't need to keep typing it twice. False teaching, false teaching. That's fine. It might be false to you, but to me it works. To me it's true, and to me it brings real results in my life. And I don't need your or anyone else's approval to watch the results pour into my life and watch me connect with God daily and follow the path of Christ. Okay, I don't need your approval. And that's what a good belief system will give you, by the way. Rather than you've commented Jennifer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, over 20 times. That's 20 times you could go post content and create your reality. If you don't believe in my belief system, go and share yours and go and sell yours to other people. You don't have to ask money for it, but you still have to sell people on it. You still have to sell yourself on it. So go and create your own reality, my friend. That's exactly what I'm talking about today. And I always, always, always have the best opportunities on this channel to prove what I'm talking about, to prove the legitimacy of it, the factuality of it, and the workability of it in a real life situation. Because what I just did right there, I can take lemons and turn them into lemonade. Okay, it's called transmutation or alchemy. And when you take that, you're not absorbing it and like getting hit with it all. You're taking it and turning it into gold. Okay. Because again, your belief doesn't threaten my belief, and my belief shouldn't threaten your belief. If it's really, really potent, then nothing I say should threaten or even anger you, my friend. That's when you start to get set free. That's when you start to understand. Summer says, absolutely correct. Thank you, Summer. Appreciate you, my friend. Steve says, two creation stories, the first by God and the second by the Lord God. Those are merely just two different transliterations of original stories from the Sumerian, Babylonian, and Akkadian mythologies. They're both trying to tell us essentially the same thing in their different ways. Yes, they're two different creation stories. But what we have to understand is one of them focuses on Yahweh. One of them focuses on the Elohim being a plural. That is, again, an allegory for the great spirits or the archons or the great Anuna gods, the zodiacs, creating all of these experiences that we have. Again, all of that is about matter being birthed. You do have the wisdom in there, Sophia, the spirit of God hovering over the waters. And so you have some esoteric symbolism in that. It's what I love about the book of Genesis, specifically Genesis 1 and 2. You have this great mythology to play off of. The serpent, what is the serpent? Guys, none of that, by all intents and purposes, probably happened. If it did, then it was clearly extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional beings creating human beings using, monkeys and alien DNA. Okay, so if you want to look at it within the simulation, within the game reality that you think is real, then that has to be what it was. If you're going to look at it esoterically, then it's esoteric, right? And I have this weird ability to look at it both ways. I can look at it today completely esoteric, and tomorrow I can look at it through the ancient astronaut theory and look at it within the game and all of the things that happen within the game reality we live in. When I say game, I mean, I believe we live in a simulation that has been generated, that we get to input our thoughts into, watch them manifest. They're filtered through time, space, emotions, angels and demons working with us as we begin to create into this reality. And if you can create peace, joy, love, and abundance while you're here, and ultimately forgiveness, then you are in the Christ consciousness, and that's when you ascend into a heavenly realm or state, and you don't have to be stuck in this material realm anymore. By the way, rewind what I just said. There's the true gospel for you, in my humble opinion. So Summer says, it all depends on Jennifer's personality, as it's mine or yours, and personalities create our personal realities. Exactly. So Chris says you're peddling new age garbage. We are in a new age, so it's not new age garbage. Might be new age. Jesus brought a new age, by the way. So if you understand the story of Jesus, you understand he said, I will be with you even till the end of the age, into the new age. And he brought a new age. The Piscean age is what the age of Jesus was, the two fish duality. He was making the two into one, bringing you into Aquarius when everything gets recreated in your consciousness, and you get to watch the old world disappear and the new world or new reality be built. Red Dog says New Age is actually very old age. Yes, it is. Absolutely. That's one of the biggest farces they pulled on you. They told you Christianity was the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. New Age philosophy says that I am the way, the truth, and the life is a philosophy, not a statement of personal divinity. The ego filters things through religious terminology. The spirit filters things through esoteric symbolism. So, Brittany says, and in Avatar, Jacob, the father of the Zodiac, chose to stay as an avatar to fight for the people that were taken advantage of. He found love and family, and his kids were like us, half Na'vi and half human, so in the likeness of the Na'vi, but the mind of Jacob. Dude, oh, Brittany, that's awesome. I've seen number 2. I've never seen number 1. I need to watch number 1. I've watched Avatar Way of the Water. I absolutely loved that one. It's laden with symbolism, beautiful animations as well. I need to watch number 1. There's all these Christian channels out there now saying that they're demons and it's demonic because they're all the blue Hindu gods. Oh my gosh. Some people just they don't see the forest for the trees. There's so much beauty out there, and God tells us the same story over and over and over in different frameworks to try and wake us up so that we can see him clearly in everything. So, let's see. Other questions, comments, prayer concerns. I got one more little line to read, and then I'll wrap this up. What time is it? Okay, I probably ought to wrap this up. So, Satan is the god of this world is a well-known biblical phrase whose deeper meaning becomes clear when we examine our reality. In this three-dimensional realm governed by time, space, laws, and limits, we are held captive by the great archon called Satan. Even the Hebrew, Islamic, and Christian traditions often reflect Saturnian energy. Okay, Saturn energy. What are we talking about here? In Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, the journey through illusion and awakening begins with the white rabbit, an invitation to follow the mystery beyond the construct of time and explore the many archetypes of ourselves within. Ultimately, religion seeks objective truth, while enlightenment seeks subjective understanding of the truth and its emanations. Let me say that one more time. Ultimately, religion seeks objective truth, while enlightenment seeks subjective understanding of the truth and its many emanations. Do you guys get that line right there? Is like a whole philosophy. Religion seeks objective truth, meaning religion is trying to get you to say, if you do this, 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 and this, then you're good. You'll go to heaven. That's all you need to do. But the enlightened individual, Jesus himself, seeks subjective understanding, meaning your understanding is subjective to your positioning around a truth. The truth doesn't change, but your positioning around it does, and you become more enlightened because you're seeking a subjective understanding, meaning I want to understand the thing if I'm in position A, B, C, or Z. Okay? That means if you get into an argument with your spouse, you want to see the argument from your perspective, her perspective, a third party's perspective, and God's perspective. And the truth is going to be right there in plain sight. But until you understand it from every subjective, meaning you're going to subject yourself to a change in position, every subjective position, that you won't even understand it. You can't know truth until you know truth from every angle. Let me say that again. You can't know truth until you know truth from every angle. And if you say Jesus is the truth, Jesus spoke the truth, but Christ is the truth. Jesus knew that he was the way, the truth, and the life. And no one goes to God except through his path. And that's exactly what he was telling you. Susan says, facts. Thank you, my friend. Gloria says I should have been on Facebook from 2008 to 2015, which I was scheduled to destroy Earth, but I didn't because of the second chance given to humanity on 12/12/2012. Here's the deal, Gloria, if you're a real person, you need to be very careful posting stuff like that online. People take those as real threats, okay? If you're threatening to destroy the earth and you're saying that in front of God and everyone, it's now burned into my podcast forever because I don't take these down. I'm not going to take it down. You now put something out there that is clearly incriminating for you. I'm just saying, guys, you need to be aware. You guys that come at me with like, I'm Jesus and I say this and you're either a bot or you're not thinking. You're not, you need to go talk to someone, and someone that is a much better professional than me. I'm not a professional when it comes to those type of mental things. So much love and respect, but I'm telling you guys, okay, if you think you're the great mother or the great father or Jesus incarnate or whatever, you need to get off your high horse because you're taking things literal and you're turning yourself into a mockery. Try and understand this stuff from an esoteric perspective. Understand the I am the way, the truth, and the life. And understand that all of this earth destruction things, this isn't something that we have to worry about or observe. Jesus said that it's birth pains. Okay, you're birthing your soul. When your soul gets ripe, you're going to see the material world with volcanoes and hurricanes and floods and fires and all that stuff burp. And it's going to be chaotic, but in the middle of it, you sit in the peace of the light and the knowing of the Father and truth and spirit. And in the anchoring of the mother matter, the wisdom that it creates all things. And you begin to watch the universe disappear. Okay? There's no actual destruction in that, guys. It just vibrates and shifts into a different realm. You guys understand that? So, guys, thank you for being here tonight. I've got plans with my family. I've got to go meet my family. That was them texting me. They're on the way to meet me right now. So I've got to jump off. You guys have a fantastic evening, guys. I love you so much. Do not forget, if you want to jump into my brand new bundle, you can get access to everything I talked about earlier, all the new downloadable content, my new book, also all my on-demand legacy programs. I've literally never offered a bundle this fat before. This is a big old bundle, guys. Right now, you can save up to 80% off. If you message me right now, I will check Facebook and I will check TikTok here in just a second. If you message me on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram at Kuker, I will send you a link to sign up for an extra 20% off. Okay? That's only for the next hour. You got to do that within the next hour. Other than that, I'll ignore that after it, and I may not offer that 20% beyond that. So if you want it, you got to get that. It's already up to 80% off if you get the lifetime membership. You guys that are worried about budgets or I don't have the money right now, I'm telling you, I've got great financing partners on here. We've got Afterpay, Klarna, PayPal. You guys can go figure out any way to pay through that. If you want to do the lifetime, then you don't have to pay me again, okay? Unless you want to order an extra book or something like that. You can do monthly, you can do yearly. But like I said, I'll give you an extra 20% off monthly or yearly. If you want it, message me. You guys do not want to miss this. Okay, I am planning on closing enrollment completely in the next 60 days. Like, completely. Like, I won't even sell anymore. If I can hit my quota, which I plan on hitting, I have spots limited. So if you guys want that, make sure you get in the next 60 days and just do it today so you don't forget about it, right? And then you're already in. You can join the call on Saturday. We have a call this Saturday. So you guys do yourself a favor. Don't wait because it could be too late. And I could change the discount too. You might only get 70 or 60 or 50% off as the road goes down and as I fill up more spots. So I'm either going to fill up the spots first or the timer's going to run out, and that's it. So if you guys want in this, I'm no longer doing like community memberships and stuff like I did, just month to month. If you want this, you can do month to month, yearly, or lifetime. So if you have questions about it, ask me. Okay, don't let a question stand between you and getting in if you want in. If you're like, well, Cub, what about this? Does this have this? Or what do I get with this? Just ask me. I'm happy to answer it, okay? Happy to offer you as much value as I can to make sure that this community, that all of my downloads, the entire new collection, and everything I teach in here is serving you and helping you level up your life so you can dissolve the illusion around you and start actually co-creating your reality. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. Because if you don't have a path that's actually really potent and can actually do good in your life, then what's the point, guys? And that's what I'm here to help with. So I love you guys. Y'all have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. I love you guys. Y'all have a beautiful